real quick, remind me, because this is something I've always wondered, and there has to be an explanation for this, unless I'm just not thinking of it. Does it matter if the revived Path of Pain dies, since Nagato can use all the paths?
What do you mean?
Well, yes and no. So, for two reasons. One, no, because obviously Nagato can just make a new path. Ruling that out, though. No, because Nagato can use the King of Hell. Where it gets tricky, though, is how far, like, can the King of Hell walk or run? Is Nagato able to long distance summon it? Does he have to summon it there, and then the King of Hell has to waddle its way over there? Because in a practicality thing of, like, can Nagato only summon it nearby, and the King of Hell
No,
can't move?
he definitely can only summon it nearby. That's pretty much... That's
You're right. That's fair.
However, this is why we're going to say why it doesn't matter. We've already seen the Animal Path can summon a dead Asura Path. So Nagato can summon the dead paths.
The thing is,
revive them with the King of Hell.
It is somewhat implied, it's never really stated, but that when you use the Paths of Pain, you yourself cannot use the abilities the paths get.
I agree with that.
However, what if the paths die? So if the Animal Path dies, Nagato gets that back.
I don't think that's how it works. I think if you're using any of the Paths of Pain, you lose all 6 paths until you stop using those Paths of Pain. So it's either you're using all 6 or they're using all 6.
It's an on switch or an off switch.
I guess you can shut them down if you want to regain the abilities, but then you would have to go through the process of creating the paths all over again, which for that to work, you have to be somewhat difficult. Well, you can't just snap your fingers and have a path. Because that's what actually delays Pain to go and attack the village. It's, Jiraiya took a path. So he had to get a new one, and that took him a little while to prepare.
This is a ridiculous argument, but the King of Hell is used for Rene Tensei. I know it's a different jutsu, but it's the King of Hell.
Right, yeah.
It does the King of Hell, correct me if I'm wrong, it's not summoned near the tree, which is away from the village.
That's true, it is.
It's in the middle of the village.
It's summoned in the middle of the Leaf Village, but I would argue it's not the Naraka path using, that's the outer path using it. So it's not the same jutsu. And it's kind of weird too, because in the war arc, when Madara gets revived, we don't see the King of Hell when that Rene Tensei happens, which is kind of weird.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. The only person that can see the King of Hell is the person that the King of Hell is being used on. So if the King of Hell is used in the middle of the battlefield, Naruto or anyone else won't be able to see it or attack it.
The thing is, I think this is... it's implied when the Naraka path attacks those two guys. And, I think it's Konohamaru who's nearby, or is it Ebisu? I don't know, one of the two. And they're like, what's going on? I don't see anything. And the guys see, obviously. But then in the war arc, I'm pretty sure Edo Itachi...
See, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
But it's not because he has a Sharingan and can see chakra as a color, and that's why he can exclusively see it. Is it like a dojutsu hacks type thing?
Well, was it the King of Hell? Because I know it was the iguana thing, and then the dog is the Amaterasu. Was it the King of Hell that he does the kunai in the eyes?
Check. No, the King of Hell takes the kunais as well. Yes.
Okay.
He gets all.
That's so weird.
But it's not even implied that it's something you could see because you can see chakra. It's more like this isn't a spiritual thing that, it just shows up to the ones being interrogated. But I guess, another explanation is that you see the King of Hell that way if Pain is using the interrogation thing. And if he's resurrecting something or doing something else with it, then you can actually see it, because they actually do see it in the Naruto fight when it's reviving those paths, right?
So I think Naruto see it then, or is it just shown to the audience?
I think it's just shown to the audience if it's going to be that Itachi can see it because of chakra. Because at that point, because it's the same with Orochimaru. Orochimaru and the Edo Tensei can't see the Reaper Death Seal until it's already grabbed him. This means that if Itachi's fighting Hiruzen or anyone else with the Reaper Death Seal, it's not going to catch him. He's just going to avoid it because he can see it.
Well, my question was going to be, when Orochimaru undoes the Reaper Death Seal, does anyone besides Orochimaru see the Reaper cut open his belly?
Good question. I don't know.
They shouldn't. It should only be Orochimaru who's doing the summon.
I mean, that is different because it's a mask.
Anybody else sees it. I don't know censor-wise if they felt the presence of it, but I know that Orochimaru only started to see it as it began to pull at him and you got closer to death.
It might be different because of the masks. I mean, do people see the green orbs of, I guess, the souls going into the bodies when the Rene Tensei happens?
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I don't think so, because nobody's like looking up and look. It's just like people coming back to life, and then people getting surprised. Oh,
exactly, because I remember the
Yeah.
surprise and the confusion, but I don't know if they see anything or they comment on it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
Yeah.
Like when
hell, like shoot shit out. Like,
Okay. Then in that case,
I mean,
I don't think that anyone would see the souls coming out of the Reaper either.
Actually, when after the big King of Hell rises in the middle of the village and the souls get spat out, the next panel is a random guy screaming, "What?"
Like before
So-
anything happens?
actually, it's also funny that
That's
the
funny.
King of Hell just is two different sizes. The big King of Hell. Why is it different?
Yeah, because it's another jutsu, I guess.
It's
But
part
like,
of the
there's a
Akamichi
guy
clan.
that, as the souls are flying above him, he's like looking up and he screams, "What?" So they can't actually see what's going on.
Does that imply they see the King of Hell itself or just the green spirits?
I mean,
I'm pretty sure you can only see the King of Hell if it like grabs you and is engaging with you.
Well, but to be
It's
fair,
just sitting there.
that's not even the King of Hell. That is just genjutsu, because when other people are looking at those people, their tongues aren't literally being ripped out. That's only the genjutsu.
I mean, it
Yeah.
could just be a spiritual representation of what's happening.
yeah, no, that's probably what it is. But
So
when
like
it comes
the soul
to
is
the
being
other
grabbed, that's what it's
jutsus, like Nagato using the King of Hell to share the field of view, and also the Rina Tensei. I mean, this guy who screams "what" definitely saw something, and the other guys behind
Hmm.
him. This is in chapter 449. Yeah, the other guys behind him also look surprised
Hmm.
and kind of looking up and wondering what's going on.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
yeah, and then we see like Fukasaku's soul returning to him. So I guess they can see that.
Okay. Does Fukusaku's soul look smaller than the other souls? Out of curiosity.
No, not really.
I like that. Doesn't matter how big your body is, everyone has the same size soul. That's kind of funny. Kamui, going back to something you said.
So Naruto definitely sees the King of Hell. I just looked because he says, "What's that?" And then Katsu says, "That pain is the key player." The way he just says,
Yeah,
"What's
yeah.
that?" and he's looking at it makes me think he's seeing the King of Hell.
Yeah. But you know what? Maybe he can see that because of his Sage Mode chakra sensing abilities. And
Yeah, I
he
mean,
just senses
that's also
things.
possible. But then
Well,
that's
because-
implying it's a chakra related thing. That's what Itachi's doing as opposed to anything else.
Because otherwise, what would the normal person see when they're looking at a path of pain being revived? Because they wouldn't see the King of Hell, they wouldn't see the tongue, they would just see the
Them come back.
path be constricted and then squeezed up in the air by some invisible force, and then what? Go inside an invisible mouth so they can just see the repair process? Like, what does it look like?
No, I was gonna say again, I don't think that's their physical body. I think it's the soul, and then it returns their body or moves it.
I mean, because Katsuyu kind of replies to him, acknowledging what Naruto just said. I guess she can also see it,
Yeah.
and I mean, unless if you want to imply that she also has sensory capabilities.
You know what? Yeah,
I
does
think they
Naruto have Sage
can.
Mode on at the time? He might be sensing it.
Yeah, I was gonna say what I'm thinking is that he's sensing the King of Hell, which I'd imagine anything called the King of Hell feels really, really awkward when it's near. You kind of be like, "What is that?"
Honestly, for the
Overall,
reaction
so-
that Naruto had against the Ten Tails, I wish that this was his reaction against the King of Hell. They just moved that here instead of the Ten Tails.
Understandable. And I was gonna say, I
It's
think
like, is
that
infinite
is
sage
the-
energy.
Yeah, why not?
Infinite.
Screw it. It's cool. At that point, why not? If anything, it makes narrative sense too, since that's the whole point of this arc thematically with the Sage energy with Naruto. So it's like they're both using it.
It also feels like Conan's seeing the Naraka path heal the Asura path. It just feels like that's the case. I mean, we can't say for sure, but
Yeah, I still think that the King of Hell is invisible when Pain is using the tongue thing for interrogation, and
Yeah.
visible in the
Yeah.
other cases.
I think
I think
that
that makes
only
more sense.
I was gonna say only people who are
Yeah.
engaged with it are supposed to be able to see it. So like when the tongue grabs you, then you can see it, which would of course very much aid with the interrogation. Because if I suddenly feel this nasty tongue grabbing mine and asking me questions, and if I don't do it, I die. All of a sudden, I'm very compliant to whatever you're asking me. I'm very willing to talk about it and maybe discuss some nuance. But I think the biggest part is that you can't see it until it begins to engage with you, unless you got like a Renegon or something like that, or
So-
you're like a super sensory ninja.
Is he ever interrogating two different people at once with the King of Hell?
Yeah, that's what he does. He
Yeah.
kind of holds two guys up,
So-
and one of them lies, the other doesn't know.
Right. So are they seeing the same King of Hell, or are they seeing their own individual King of Hell? In which case, I would say it is only a Genjutsu, and the King of Hell isn't even there at all.
I was gonna say, well, the King of Hell has to be there because he can
Well,
see
it's
through the King of Hell.
not. It's not only a genjutsu because you can actually die if you lie.
Yeah. Six paths Genjutsu?
I think it's a physical thing that's just very difficult to sense unless it's engaging with you, just naturally. Or you have a Renegon, which would allow you to be able to see it because you're also seeing its Renegon. But yeah, it grabs two people. Its tongue grows tongues that then grab other tongues, or grabs hands that grab tongues.
Well,
But I
remind
still
me.
think that's spiritual versus a physical, actual tongue because there's no way that someone's tongue is that long. It's like
Yeah.
a 7-foot tongue.
So when Hiruzen does the Reaper Death Seal against Orochimaru and the two Edo Tensei, there's the Reaper Death Seal behind
also,
them.
I think they definitely see the same thing because there's one particular thing, which is that the King of Hell stretches two hands. The same King of Hell grabs both their tongues.
Okay, so that's interesting. So
Which
it's just one King of Hell. It's not an individual
Yeah.
for each of them. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so it might just be real but invisible. That's interesting. Okay.